The mother has been dead for 3 days, but the little girl still thinks her mother is just asleep and needs more rest. Every day, she brings a basin of water, using her small hands to wash her mother's feet. She stays by her side and tells her fairy tales. When she feels her mother's cold body, the little girl leans against her mother, using her own body to keep her warm. The mother, unable to let go of her daughter, has turned into a spirit, quietly staying by her side, watching everything her daughter is doing for her. The mother's heart is filled with pain. It wasn't until the neighbors smelled something strange from the house that they called the little girl's father to check, but the father had long since remarried his first love. Faced with his wife's corpse, he remained unusually calm, and simply ordered the bodyguards to take the body away. The helpless little girl could only cry as her mother left her. Missing her mother too much, she decided to sneak into the hospital to take her mother's body away and head to Lingshan. She had heard that immortals lived there and believed they could save her mother. The little girl pulled her mother on a cart. Every 10 steps, she knelt down and bowed her head in prayer, hoping her mother would wake up. Even though her forehead was bleeding, she never stopped. However, her body couldn't take it anymore, and she eventually passed out in the 104-degree heat. When she woke up again, she found herself lying in a hospital bed, with her father and stepmother standing beside her. Afterward, the little girl was taken home, in front of the father. The stepmother promised to treat her like her own daughter. This gave the father some comfort, but as soon as he left, the stepmother threw the little girl's hand aside, and ordered her to pour tea. Her son cruelly insulted the little girl's mother. The little girl, in her anger, pushed the boy down. Seeing this, the stepmother rushed over and slapped the little girl hard. She pressed her down on the couch and beat her mercilessly. The little girl's mother, now a spirit, watched from the side, but she was powerless to help. From that day on, the little girl was treated like a servant, kneeling on the ground to scrub the floors. The boy stood nearby, gloating. The grandmother even encouraged their behavior. When the grandson said he wanted a dartboard, the grandmother pulled the little girl over, made her stand in the middle of the living room, with an apple on her head. The boy blindfolded himself, and violently threw the darts at her. The little girl was terrified, but didn't dare to move. When the boy was unsatisfied with the first attempt, he grabbed a handful of darts to try again. At that moment, the father came home. Seeing what was happening, he flew into a rage, and questioned the stepmother for allowing this. But the stepmother shifted the blame, claiming it was normal for the two children to play rough, and insisted the little girl had volunteered to play the game. The father ignored the little girl's explanation, believing she was lying. The little girl was overwhelmed with despair. She ran crying into her room, burying herself in her blanket, hoping to escape from this world of pain. Later, the stepmother learned from the maid that the little girl had an inheritance of 30 million. Unexpectedly, the stepmother, driven by greed, planned to kill the little girl for the money.